Okay. Folks who are here, folks who will be watching, welcome to the second in our series of Aperitif concerts run by Tesoro, which is an international network of women poets. We are lucky enough, because I know what her schedule is like, to have East Coast in the house tonight. East Coast is not getting blown away by the hurricane anyway. I will let her give you the official bio. I will say that I met this woman on a Zoom, as you know, as I've met so many of our poets, and couldn't believe what I was hearing, basically. I mean, you see a lot of faces and you hear a lot of voices. This was very new and very fresh and very raw. And the moment I heard her, I knew that she needed to be a member of what we were doing. So on the mic and in the house, we have Phylisa Villanueva. Phylisa, honey, how you doing?
Hi, good night, everyone. Thank you guys for coming. I'm excited. I'm ready to have a good time and share my work with you. I am from Yonkers. I just recently turned 30. I have 2 books that I self-published. I recently did a lot of projects. I did a short film with a team using one of my poems. I just closed out a poet in residency out here in Yonkers. And uh, I was in a jazz and poetry band. And we actually have a CD that's available on like iTunes, maybe Spotify. And I could probably put the link in the chat.
That would be good, yeah.
And I've been teaching, writing, and performing for over 10 years. One of my recent projects is a contract I have with the youth correctional facility in Valhalla. I'm teaching them poetry, and we're gonna create an anthology. I Let me not sell myself short, right? And we show off a little bit, no limits.
Show off a lot, babe.
One of the things I'm known for out here in Yonkers is starting a teen open mic. I started off being a competitive poet, and then I started doing some features, and this was at a very young age. So I quickly had to find or make a home here for myself in Yonkers to do what I love to do, because my parents weren't too comfortable with me constantly traveling into the city. It's about like an hour ride, and then I had to take a bus and a train because I'm coming from Yonkers. So that's I did that for about 5 years. It was called The Night I Became Untamed, and I was part of a poetry group also called the Untamed. We went from like Untamed Souls to Untamed. 2 really cool guys, my brothers from Brooklyn. So I would travel to Brooklyn a lot, and they would come to visit me in Yonkers a lot. And
So
then I went
you've been a little bit busy.
Yeah, I've been busy. I've been working. The next thing I'm gonna be doing, I'm writing a play. I like to share
Oh,
with you guys that I'm writing a play. And I'm in school for creative writing, and I think I'm almost done. And I have aspirations of being a poetry professor.
okay. So I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everybody. And you can run with it as far as you need to in 14 minutes. I mean, there will be other questions, but if you need the 14 minutes to answer this one, it's okay. Why poetry and why now?
Poetry to me has always been about the truth. I always think about how we know about, I also, okay, so there's a symbol that I'm really connected to, and it's called Sankofa. And Sankofa is a symbol that represents everything that I need is, in my past, and I bring my past, what I've learned, into my future. To understand where you come from is to know who you are. And with history books, you know, we learn about what happened, but rarely do we really understand how people feel at that time. What were people really going through? And that's what poetry does. Poetry is the truth. Poetry is freedom. And why now? Because this is this is an expression that has saved my life. And I think that that is the power of poetry. It is life saving. So I teach. I am a facilitator, and I practice, so that way I'm able to show people how to do the practice of poetry, and we heal from there.
Okay. What is, do you think, the most terrifying thing that's gone on while you were doing this? And that can be something physical that happened, like, you fell off the stage and, almost lost an eye, or something spiritual or something mental. What is the most terrifying thing that's happened since you started this?
When I stopped and I thought I was never going to write again, that was scary. I attached so much of who I was as a young person to my poetry. That's who I was. All of my identity was there. So when there was an attack on my writing and I just couldn't write anymore, it wasn't safe for me anymore. I It just added on to me losing myself um at that time. So then when I started writing again, I promised, like, I would start and never stop.
Okay. So if I ask that question, then I have to ask the opposite, which is, what is the thing that's brought you the most joy in this? If you have to pick, because people ask me that question, it's almost impossible. But if you had to pick.
The most joyous thing that's happened,
Mhm.
I think that sometimes when my daughter takes a shower, she recites my poetry.
I love it.
Um, it makes me feel like I make small ripples in the world,
Okay.
and I'll be remembered, and I left an impression.
Okay. I love that. Um, One book I know about, I don't know how I missed the other, but talk to me about Pretty Girl Special, which I read and loved.
Thank
Um,
you.
and tell us about the second one as well, and a little bit about the play that's coming up.
Okay. Pretty Girl Special is a collection of letters to myself and to my daughter, sprinkled with some poetry and notes that I would keep on my desk to keep me sane, to keep me focused, to continue. Pretty Girl Special is a poetic memoir about my journey, coping with the fact that I was in an abusive relationship. And it's about my newfound motherhood. Um, it talks about the year of my life and the time where, well, the time that I left the relationship and it resulted in me being homeless. And it talks about when I started writing again. And I started writing because once we once we were put in a situation where I couldn't stay where I was staying and my parents' home wasn't an option, um and I was sleeping at friends' houses, I knew I needed to document the experience. I Her father is my abuser and is a narcissist. So I read a few books while I was at work. I'll do like Audible. And I was looking up, how to children of narcissistic parents and things of that nature. And I realized that these folks will create lies and believe them. And I really wanted my daughter to know the truth. So I started journaling and I started writing letters to my daughter. And that is how I started writing again in the book that describes that. And I also, in the same breath, Pretty Girl Special, I made it mean something. And Pretty Girl Special comes from a personal moment in my life where I had an overflow of energy and love and great vibes, where I was able to give to someone else, and in return they gifted me physically. And that is the type of energy that I believe that I worked every day to cultivate, to almost fake it till you make it, and tapping into something really real. The giving to receive and receiving to giving, and just the whole cycle, the ebb and the flow.
We've got about 4 minutes before you go into your performance mode. So tell us a little bit about the second book and a little bit about the play.
So the second book is called Situationships and Things and Tings. It's another poetic memoirish collection of erotic poetry, self-love, self-discovery, self-worth, love poems. And that's the book where I really exercise my knowledge of poetic form. And I actually worked about a long time on reading books on poetic form and practicing them in order to produce this book. And then my play is a spin-off of it's taken many different edits. It was originally a short film, so it had a script. I had a whole table read, but then I realized that it just started unpacking itself the way art usually does. Drags you around, right? Until it's ready, and takes on all these different forms. So now it's turning into a play. It's about a daughter who finds out that her mother wrote journals about her as she was growing up, and she looks for them, finds them, and reads them. And then mother and daughter have heartfelt moment after such and such drama. Yes.
Okay. I said, do we have, or do you have any immediate plans to go ahead and get this put on? Are you still looking for a producer? Where's the?
Well, I'm privileged enough to be taking a advanced playwriting class in my college. So I'm kind of like really utilizing this time, getting my degree to do intentional work. I've known for a long time that there's a couple of plays I want to write, and why not do it in school, where the teacher's job is to make sure that whatever you put out is quality work and you're doing it the right way. So I just think that's how that's unfolding. And for the end of the semester, it sounds like it's a possibility that she can find us actors and we can do part of our play. And I'm just so excited for that part.
I would be too. And it is nice to have that sort of umbrella over you while you're trying to do this, because playwriting can be the most intense, loneliest experience of your entire life, never to mention the most nerve-wracking. Because unless you're just writing straight monologues, you are having to be how many different characters at any given time and keep all of their thought lines straight and tell them when to shut up, which my characters never did.
Yeah.
Unless I just had to stop writing. So congratulations on all of that and everything. The next half hour is yours. And as you know, as I said, this is the usual format for our Aperitif concerts. 15 minutes of interview and then 30 minutes for the artists to just do their thing. No censoring, no trigger warnings unless they feel like it, because I don't believe in trigger warnings. Just do you, boo. You're up.
Thank you. So I don't get to read the back of Pretty Girl Special that often. And I'm going to take this time because I got time to read the back of this book. Pretty Girl Special. Noun. A reward that operates as a reflection of the light we exert, a prize for shining, an emotion expressing the belief that your femininity is divine energy validated, a privilege or exception we receive by default for simply existing in our truth. So in a sentence, I put on Pretty Girl Special to get up out of bed this morning. Verb, a specific style of communication that expresses humility, love, and respect with nonverbal, intentional, intimate interactions that sometimes results in free shit. To embrace oneself without reason, doubt, or explanation. So in a sentence, girl, see if you can get us that Pretty Girl Special. And then
I love it.
thank you. And then Pretty Girl Special is vibrant, it is bright, it is confident, it's solid, and it's strong. And I think something that I used to get a kick out of is how some of my friends would really be like, to this day, they'll be like, oh, I seen that Pretty Girl Special, or they'll tell me, I got a Pretty Girl Special the other day, and that really does fill my heart. Another interesting story is that I had a friend that I spent some time with. Everyone has a season with you, and sometimes you hear a lot of those seasons, people for seasons, so negatively sometimes, but this one was really, it was what it was. And I spent some time with a young lady, a couple of years younger than me, and then she went off to the army. And then one day she sent me a picture of a tattoo, and it was my poem that was on her forearm.
Wow.
And I never really realized how I touched her, influenced her, and that it made me also feel really good that a poem of mine touched someone in that way, to put it on their skin. This is the poem she has on her forearm. It's called Tears. It's from Pretty Girl Special. I did it with tears in my eyes. I did it afraid. I did it livid. I did it broken. I did it tired. I did it hungry. I did it all with tears in my eyes. Poem. So I'm going to recite for you guys now the Pretty Girl Special poem. The catalyst to my transition, the way I keep strong, how I survived, I call it Pretty Girl Special. The slate in my strut fierce, I stop time, staring into my future, manifesting, looking back only to see how far I've come. I'm glowing colors, chakra popping, my voice like guided meditations. Let me inspire your life with my eyes. I remind you of your uniqueness, You're deserving of love. I changed people. I changed the world. I share my magic with you. It's untamed. My possibilities are limitless. I design my destiny being my best self. Yo, shout out to Pretty Girl Special. Shout out to the girl who takes on the world fearless and empowered, who will face adversity every day and be resilient every moment and make it look sexy every time. I made it. 5 years later, I did it. Hugging myself, I'm a survivor. Come celebrate with me the story of my life. The lion in my chest. Cheers to wanting to live like I need to breathe. Celebrate the journey back to me. Dancing in all my magic. Pouring in Pretty Girl Special.
Yeah. I loved the entire book, but that one just lit me up. Love that piece.
Oh, thank you so much. This book, Pretty Girl Special, really felt like throw up. Like it was something that I didn't realize the story was so heavy on my body until I pressed like the, you know, the button where my first book came in. Like I ordered my first book. I pressed what a purchase and I felt freed. It felt like I took everything I've been through, wrapped it up in a nice cute little box, and I said, here, everyone, it's for you now. You know, it's not, I have a story, I'm not my story.
Okay.
And that's what Pretty Girl Special did for me. And that's why when I do teach, I like to do prompts that go inner and to go in to come back out stronger, you know. So now I'm going to read this poem called Talking to Myself, because maybe it might give you a sense of what I went through, what I had to, shit I had to climb out of. Talking to myself. Oh, you got me fucked up. Talking to myself like we almost forgot who we was. Lost in a kind of love that kept you on your toes because the eggshells in your heels weren't that bad, right? That's why your feet never touched the ground, right? Never had a chance to feel grounded. You uplifted your roots. Yo, you stopped growing. You chose death. You didn't choose me. Tell him how you forgot your dance, your light in his darkness, your strength in his weakness, your fairy tale in his hood, your wildness in his idea of a woman, the abrupt whine in your spine, the rhythm to your life. Then you let him silence you, made you believe the issues were with you. Yo, how you let him do that? He said he never seen black girl magic before. You let him hold your wand. He cast spells over you, buried you in quicksand, made sure you never went under, and you make yourself think that shit was so romantic. Stroked his ego so good. You called this troll your hero. Your hero, he played tricks on your mind this whole time, and you watched him do it. Helped him smuggle fear into this temple, this body. This body is all we have, and you let him gaslight it, gaslight you, set you on fire every time, and then he will ask you, baby, why your body always smells like ashes? Come, let me help you put on something sweet. Trick this body into his glass treasure box where he puts bitches after he breaks them under all his shit, his past and his future, his insecurities and his trauma, his low vibrations, his projections, and he tells you he's keeping you safe, and you make yourself think that shit is so romantic. You let him feel on your whole body. He snaked your backbone out of your whole body. With or without your permission, you let him feel on your whole body. Call you out your name so much. You had so many nicknames. I remember when you used to look around you like, who the fuck are you talking to? He didn't regard you as the mystical queen you are. You should have left. You stayed too long. You didn't feel him wrapping you in his lies like Cobra? Were the highs really that high that you forgot how the lows made you feel? Oh, but you got me fucked up. If you thought for 1 second that we wasn't gonna bounce back, your comeback is bringing life back into the whole world around you. You inspire everyone who comes near you. This world has been waiting patiently for your healing. Look how blessed you are. The Most High chose you. Remember all those nights of prayers for a purpose, a message, a superpower. This is not a setback, but a slingshot, sending you flying forward, light body, telling the story of a conqueror. I see you writing yourself free. I feel you in the furnace turning into gold. I smell you on fire, dying in order to give birth to a new you. I taste all of your intentions, so rich. I hear you every morning, loving on us with all of these affirmations. I am enough. I love my body. I have self-worth. I forgive myself. I have a story. I'm not my story. I have everything I need. I will be prepared for my blessings. I believe in myself. What's mine will be mine. Thank you.
That one is literally breathtaking. I had to stop and remember how to draw breath in about the middle of that. Thank you for that. What else do you have to sing for us?
How much time we have?
You got a good 15 minutes. You're fine.
Okay. So I think okay. So here's another poem that I have that talks about my culture, talks about my mama, and it's a fun poem, and it talks about well, you'll see. Untamed soul. Come roll with an untamed soul. Come roll with an untamed soul. Hey, come roll with an untamed soul. Come roll with an untamed soul. Embrace my untamedness, my wildness. My freedom rings and the sounds get caught in my curls, so they bouncy. So be untamed. Mama said she wished we had good hair. We have bad hair. So what's good hair? Everything not coiled. She takes an iron to those wrinkles, can't let them see the history in me, the kinks in my hair, my pedigree, the darker shades of skin in me. Careful, your ancestors are showing. For real, Ma, what's wrong with curly, natural? Natural doesn't get called professional, she tells me. Beautiful, respectful, serious, clean, but my curls, they keep me grounded. My curls are magical, Shapeshifters, creators, information givers. They dance to the sound of my voice. They love my poetry. They write with me. We have synergy. Mama's not hearing me. She says, flat irons release the most sweetest of smells. When ceramic plate meets ceramic plate, magic happens. And when you feel the heat race to your roots, it's like free food. And when you smell it cooking, that means it's working, and you'll look so beautiful once your hair is done. I tell her, Ma, you and your curls are beautiful. Your wash and go is on point. I watch the curly on her head run from her face. I hear them whisper, wash and set. We gotta go get those wash and sets. No matter how much money we don't have, we can't look bad. Wash and set. We gotta go get those wash and sets. No matter how much money we don't have, we can't look bad. Watch beauty at its best. My curly game is a beast. Yes, on fleek. These curls will coil you up quickly because my bravery is catching. My curly confidence radiant. Come roll with an untamed soul. Hey, come roll with an untamed soul. Come roll with an untamed soul. Embrace my untamedness, my wildness. My freedom rings and the sounds get caught in my curls. So they bouncy, so massive, so elevated, so be untamed. Thank you.
Why aren't you on stages everywhere doing this every hour of the day? I mean, we'll give you a break every, like 25, 30 minutes twice a day, but the rest of the time you need to be singing this stuff. Because I know a whole little Black and brown girls out there who need to hear this.
Thank you. Okay. Whew. I'm going to read you guys another one about my culture.
Can I ask you a quick question while you're looking? How often are you actually on stage? How many times do you do this per week, per month?
So the easy answer to that, usually all the time, is that I am a open mic host. And it's so funny because I'm always trying to run away from it. I just had a residency, and to be honest, I really want to, I want my accolades, like I want my flowers, and I make space. I'm making them happen in my life. I'm creating the space for all of my goals. Like,
okay.
Literally, this is what I want. What do I have to do to get there? And I'm doing it. And that involved me hosting again. So I hosted for a year, and then residency was up, and I said, okay, great. I'm going to do some writing. I'm going to do this play and maybe a YA novel, all these things. And then, I'm bumping into someone and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing in my spot, and there's pay, and I think you should do it. And it just kind of feels like, okay, well, I guess we're doing it again. So I'm usually performing at least once a month. And sometimes I'll get a feature, and then sometimes I'm just pulling up to the open mic near you.
Okay.
And then I'll perform virtually also. Okay, so I started a blog. It's called Dear Paisley. So I've been writing these letters to my daughter, and then I decided that I wasn't ready to publish them like all these letters, but I figured that I would create a different type of letter, and I would make it public. And I do have a blog. It's on phyllyv.com, and this is called Dear Paisley is my blog, and there's a poem on there that I'm going to read, and it's about my daughter. This poem is interesting because this is a sestina, and I wrote this originally before I was a mother. And then it was called If I Ever Have a Daughter. And then I became a mother with a daughter. And this poem is about 10 years old. And then I revised it last year. And that was fun. Because someone said a poem is never finished. So I have a daughter. And if the conversation comes up about love, I'll tell her. If you keep your heart open, love will find its way. And then she'll tell me, love found its way and made a mess of the place. And I'll tell her, be sure to have them clean up the place. That person better treat you like you're someone's daughter. I wonder if she will be a poet like me. Maybe she might write the poems I never could, the ones about love, about how to do it the right way. Will she be open, focused on protecting her energy, assertive yet open? She is 4, does what I do. That being said, I plan ahead, set the tone, find the medium place. I yearn to teach her the ways, like how soca music can take her far away. So I have a daughter. Art is her first love. She dedicates her drawings to me. She says, Mommy, I hope you're proud of me. You keep my heart open. You make me love, forever grateful for our place. So I have a daughter. Never thought my life could be this way. You make me a better person, better mom. This was the way. All day you teach me, dear Paisley, my daughter. I hope you stay open and no one makes you feel small for taking up so much space. That's your place. You are love. And I love the way you love. It inspires me and reminds me that I'm on my way. You are the light in the place. In so many ways, you are better than me. Mama will always be here. My door open, dear daughter. Even though through life you will change, stay this way. You make my home a poetic place. God blessed me with a daughter. Thank you.
That's just heartbreaking. in the best possible way. But I'm sitting here going, I wish I had a daughter. Which is
you have many daughters.
Yeah, and I don't have to buy any of their shoes or pay their dental bills, so I'm down with that. It's fine.
That part. Can I leave you guys with something a little spicy?
I wish you would.
That is, this is situationship and things. And my erotic poetry is a big part of who I am, and I'm damn good at it, you know. So I want to share something with you guys. Maybe a form, the sestina that I have in here. Oh man, this sestina is pretty hot.
That's all right. Hey,
I'm teasing. My needs. I think I got this. It's the attention for me, baby. Snap your fingers. Show me you listen. You say I'm extraordinary. My body extraordinary. Poetry in motion. Pay attention. Memorize me. Say how beautiful it is to glisten on me. Make a table out of me, baby. Listen. If you get it from behind, praise them the hips, extraordinary. Kiss me on my back, softly, slowly, sweetly. Listen, hands in my hair, demand your attention. Hold me in place, make love melt out of me. And when it happened, he had one hand around my neck. I say, I need the devotion, baby, love me like really good love poems, extraordinary. All afternoon attention, glitter spills from creases and rolls. Come to me, oil, listen, these hips, listen. So say you're thirsty for passion, chaotic attention. Rough sea vibes rock me, lovesick motion, baby. Be a merman for me, baby. That's extraordinary. Tell me it's good. Sweat me, activated. Listen on moonlight. Your body is extraordinary. You want to do it outside? Say that in the digging motion, baby. And when I try and run, do it real good. Give me all your attention. I never have to ask for your attention. Eyes stay on me like when baby asked me to read my poetry. Said he wants to listen. Say, you love the sounds I make. Your clothes come off. How extraordinary. Thank you.
My goodness.
Thank you.
I think that was good and spicy. I think that'll work.
Yeah, right. Oh man, how's it going? How are you guys enjoying that? How was that?
I think everybody is still looking for ice chips. So, I mean, so we've got about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes.
Okay. So
any last thoughts, last poem?
Yeah, I'm gonna do Belizean rice and beans.
Okay.
That comes from Pretty Girl Special.
I remember that one. It made me, I'm sitting there going, I need some food. I need to get fed. Yeah.
Okay. They say Belizean women carry the sun in their eyes and the earth under their fingernails. I was built strong. My people work hard. People half your size built Mayan ruins like pyramids. Have you ever climbed a Mayan ruin? With mud and statued, build mathematical and astronomical systems. I come from a long line. I'm another kind of intellect. I'm not a poet on accident. Words and rhythm found within me, like Mayans carving history traditions in the steps of the ruins, like Sunday dinner after we've caught the spirit. We're Anglican, Christian, Garifuna, Creoles, Mestizo. We are the Caribbean slave trade. Have you ever had Belizean rice and beans? The way my people speak English, they break it up. Our accents are sumo heavy. Broad Creole, them call it. Spanish gal, they call me fell. Where the tip of my tongue reaches the roof of my mouth every time. Fell, me never know you know for top Creole. Aunties say, no grow up before for you time. They say, Belizean women hide tornadoes in their hips at 85 miles per hour. Fell, gal, make I see you whine. Me never know you know for dance punta, where hips move like no bones, each side striving to hit the sky. Voices of wooden drums move you, feet jump like hot oil. I dance punta for the monsters in the blue hole. I dance punta for the rainbow that hides behind the coral reef. And when I'm not dancing, my hands are busy writing traditions in the steps of the ruins. My words be black, sunburned back, sun-kissed skin. My words plant palm trees that sing my songs, tongues tied under Punta Rebels rhythm. My words make Placencia palm trees whine hurricane speed. Belizean women carry the sun in their eyes and the earth under their fingernails. Have you ever had Belizean rice and beans? It doesn't taste good, it tastes nice.
Yes, indeed. Please unmute yourselves. Give it up for our feature here. I don't know about you. I need some food and some ice. Lots of Dear heart, thank you so much. These are great for me because I never get to see y'all for more than, like 5 little encapsulated minutes on open mics and things like that. And this way I get a whole half hour of y'all doing what makes you you, what makes you pivotal, mandatory, necessary for all women of the world to hear, what makes you Tesoro. So thank you so much for coming to visit us. We will be back next week with our 3rd in the series. Tell folks and bring your friends. This is, as I say, the 2nd in the series. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 more before we go on vacation, on hiatus for holidays, and then we'll be back. If you feel so inclined, you can go to the artist. Can you put your Cash App, your Cash platform information on here, please, Phylisa?
Absolutely.
If you want to, throw a little dough to her flow, she's giving you the information to do it.
That's
Thank
Cash
you.
App. Thank you. And I'll put my handle here. So if you guys would like to follow me and my project.
Absolutely. If you are not following this woman, you now have no excuse. So, dear heart, again, thank you so much. I don't know about y'all, but I had an incredibly good time. This is, as I say, the 2nd in our series of Tesoro, the Aperitif concerts. We're going to be doing this for a minute because I have some of the most talented women in the world to interview, and I'm going to savor every single 45-minute segment. Y'all have a fantastic weekend. I won't bother to say good night, good morning, whatever, because I don't know where everybody is. But one way or the other, we will see you next week, and I will see you all down the road somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you guys all for coming. Stacy, thank you so much.
Well done, poet. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.